Cumbl Cookies this week have been the fire festival of the bakery world. If you don't know what Cumbl Cookies are, it's basically a bakery that sells cookies and they look really yummy and they have over 1,000 stores in the USA. Their thing is that they sell different flavors of cookies every week. Someone needs to check in on those bakers that have to come up with new recipes every single week, and they need to give them a job at Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg needs them right now. Have you seen those new Meta Ray-Bans? But a few days ago, Cumbl Cookie hosted a pop-up store in Sydney. They hosted it for one day only on a Sunday, and we know it's the real Cumbl Cookie store because a week prior to this, they posted that they were flying to the USA to pick up the Cumbl Cookies. Wait, but you are Cumbl Cookie. Can't you just make them in Australia? You already have the recipes. This is like buying a Honda Civic and having it shipped from Japan instead of just making it in Australia. Wait, no, that's actually what they do. Except cars don't go bad because you don't eat cars and you really shouldn't. Basically what happened is someone made a TikTok account named @CrumblSydney. And on the 20th of September, which is 9 days before the pop-up, this account posted that they're having a one-day pop-up in Sydney, Australia, followed by over 10 videos of them promoting the pop-up. And get this, they used the promotional videos posted by the legitimate Cumbl Cookie account. We'll get to that later. Throughout this video, this TikTok account will progressively dig itself a deeper legal hole, which begins before any of the cookies were even sold by acting as the real Cumbl Cookie by using their own promotional content. Just stealing the artwork, stealing the videos from the real Cumbl Cookie and posting it as their own. 6 days before the pop-up, they had already announced a location in Bondi. And no, they didn't just post, we're having it in Bondi. They posted the exact location 6 days before they hosted the actual pop-up in Sydney. And when I searched up this address, I found something very interesting. It's actually the address of a trophy and engraving store called Premio, located next to a petrol station. What? And I thought, just like Sabrina Carpenter, please don't tell me that this trophy shop was the place they sold the cookies out of. And when I saw the videos on TikTok, guys, take a look at this.
Come with me to the Cumbl Cookie pop-up in Sydney at Bondi. I was actually really sketched out because I found this through TikTok and Instagram and it wasn't endorsed by Crumbl, but I went there anyways. It was next to this gas station and oh my god, look at the line. There were so many people. We were at 30
The blind pulled like half down, half mast to probably block the view inside the store, which in one of the videos that I looked at, we can actually see, you can see the white foldable table. This is a typical Australian, the cheapest table you can find, okay? Set up in front of the store with the blind down like this, like you're talking to a bank teller. And if you look really closely on the bottom right of this screen, there's a trophy. So this is definitely the trophy store, guys, okay, that they are selling the Cumbl Cookies out of, okay? It's just really strange because there's also like pallets of prime drink you can see in the background and pallets of other food items. So I'm wondering like what's going on in this shop. They're selling these Cumbl Cookies stacked up in boxes next to dusty old trophies in a trophy engraving store. Yep. How is this safe handling of food? Like, this is crazy. So my next thought is, well, I guess some kid or like maybe two kids had the elaborate idea of going to America, getting these Cumbl Cookies, bringing them back. Piece of cake. Or should I say piece of cookie? I think these had to be kids because of just the way they're going about the posting and not really taking accountability of anything, but we'll get to that later. So they must have had parents that were like okay with the idea. Maybe, I don't know, hypothetically they had parents who owned a trophy and an engraving store that could have, you know, maybe provided them with a location to sell it out of. Yeah, because on the About Us page of the trophy and engraving store, it says, Premio was created by two busy mums. See what I'm getting at? Allegedly. This is, of course, just my theory, okay? And then they claim they bought 700 cookies from LA and Hawaii and then flew back to Sydney with them. Perfectly fine. Firstly, a flight from Hawaii to Sydney is about 10.5 hours. A flight from LA to Hawaii is about 6 hours. Includes some waiting time here and there, waiting around. It's probably a travel time of over 24 hours. Oh, and did I mention their flight was delayed? Because they did. And I almost forgot. I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but how the f did they manage to get 700 cookies through customs? From LA to Hawaii to Sydney? Sorry. Where do you even put all those cookies? Because I know they're not fitting in your carry-on. They weren't carry-on cookies, you hungry bitch. How'd they get the food through customs? We're gonna watch a video later that explains all the legalities and custom stuff later in the video from a creator, because I'm not a lawyer and I never claimed to be a lawyer. And the worst part is, yeah, they came out, replied to comments and said, hey guys, we're not the actual Crumbl Cookies. We're just fans who imported them from the USA. I'm just a baby. So you didn't want to mention that before the pop-up? You waited till after the pop-up to say that. Maybe because you were too busy impersonating Cumbl Cookie and definitely trying to play it off like you were actually Cumbl Cookie. But now it's, no, I'm just a baby. I'm just a baby. I had no idea. I'm just a fan. I'm just a fan. I'm a good Samaritan. Now, in pretty much every video of people reacting to trying the Crumbl Cookies, they say they lined up for hours. They thought it was kind of sketchy, but just went along with it anyway.
Okay, so after waiting in line for 45 minutes, we got Crumbl Cookies.
And then we're gonna buy like 4 cookies. Some still did and spent a lot of money, but then they saw the price point of $17.50 and decided to only get 2 cookies. Wait. The cookies were $17.50?
I spent $150 on 10 cookies.
You only got 2 because one is $17.50.
For a cookie. And in pretty much every review people did of the cookies, they were thoroughly disappointed. And you could just tell in their face they really wanted to say it was good because they spent $17.50 per cookie.
It's a 3 out of 10. Out of 1. 1 out of 10. But just sucks. Okay, anyway.
Even that couldn't persuade them to say that it actually tasted good. That's how bad these cookies were. And the presentation was just foul.
Pink sugar icing.
I have to say, it looks quite homemade.
Wow, look at that.
Large chunks
Look
of
at that
chocolate
opening
chip.
that up.
I'm underwhelmed.
That's where all the theories come in of the presentation of the cookies, okay? Now, the first theory is the one that Cumbl Cookies Sydney pop-up came up with, right? That they went to America, bought the cookies, went through customs, declared the 700 cookies, and customs were like, yep, looks pretty good to me. 700 cookies, away you go. Enjoy. And the cookies were just a little bit messed up because they went through like over 24 hours of travel time. However, people like myself can imagine that this heist would be next to impossible to actually pull off, even for the Ocean's 11 crew. So the other theory goes that they actually just bought the packaging and homemade the cookies to the best they could to seem like the real cookies. And that's why people said they just tasted like shit. People also claim that some of the cookies were still warm, which means if they were brought from the US and imported, they would have had to been heated up with the icing on them. So if they did heat them up, then surely the icing would have just gone everywhere and just completely melted off the cookies. Or they actually did make them themselves, hence why they were still warm and they were able to put the icing on afterwards. Now, what makes me really skeptical is, have you seen the way that airport staff handle luggage? By any chance? The airport staff treat luggage like they are in a competition to see who can throw a shot put the furthest, but the one with the most value and like valuable items in it wins. So the fact that even half of the cookies were still salvageable is super surprising to me. Ever since the pop-up in Sydney, the Cumbl Cookies Sydney account, the fake one on TikTok, has come out with a statement on a Google Doc. I really don't think they should have made this statement, and you're gonna find out why in just a second. Let's just have a look at this statement and read it together, okay? Are you officially Crumbl? They say, no, we never claim to be an official Crumbl store. This is clearly stated in our bio and comments. Okay, never claim to be an official Crumbl store, okay? Apart from maybe the first video you posted on TikTok where you said, quote, Cumbl Cookies are landing in Australia next week. Pretty sure that's the brand name. And literally used Cumbl Cookie promotional video materials straight from their social media platforms. Pretty sure you were trying as hard as you could to make it look real. This was clearly stated in our bio and comment after the pop-up. Clearly misleading. But I'm just a baby. I'm just a baby. And I'm not even a lawyer, so like I'm imagining the lawyers will obviously eventually take up this case. I'm just gonna have an absolute field day. It's gonna be the easiest court day they've ever had. They're probably not even gonna say anything. They're just gonna rock up to the court date, just stand there and be like this. And then they posted the receipts. To the question of, are they genuine Cumbl Cookies? They posted, yes, 100%. We traveled to the US to purchase the cookies and imported them with their original packaging. We did not bake them ourselves. See below Cumbl receipts, recipes, and matching bank transfers. Again, what makes me think these people are kids is that there's like many spelling mistakes, spelt receipts as recipes, which I mean makes sense if they think that these money transfers are recipes because they didn't cook them themselves. But so apparently they spent $3,666 US on these cookies, which totals to be 5,479 Australian dollars on some fucking cookies. By the way, little thing I noticed in these receipts, they gave no tip. No, $0, no tip, which is absolutely astounding considering the intense stress these Crumbl Cookie employees would have been under after having someone walk up and say, yeah, I'd just like to purchase 700 cookies, please. I can just imagine this is how it went. Hey, yeah, I'd like to order 700 cookies, please. Okay, man, yeah, real funny. Yeah, be for real. Long lineup today. We're really busy today. Yeah, no real time for messing around. What do you actually want? What do you after? Yeah. Can I get 700 cookies? I just like to imagine their whole plan was based upon someone like down the line in front of them saying, yeah, today I just want to do something nice and pay for the person behind me. It's like a kind of a pay it forward thing. Hopefully they can, get it going and maybe we can, make something special here today of pay it forward. And then when it came to their turn, they're like, yeah, 700 cookies, 700 cookies. Yeah, the pay it forward thing stopped like 30 people ago. Sorry, man, you're gonna have to pay for them yourself. Also in the receipts, it shows how many crumbs they earned from the transactions, which is the Cumbl Cookies rewards program. And it shows here they're in the pink tier, which is actually the highest tier of the Cumbl Cookie rewards program, which states for every dollar they spend, they're supposed to earn 13 crumbs, right? Which means they should have got 40,645 crumbs, but on the receipts, it only says that they earned 36,665 crumbs. So either this is evidence of them faking a receipt, or it's just an internal mistake. Maybe when they were climbing the tiers of Cumbl Cookie, it took some off beforehand. Not sure. But anyways, with this amount of crumbs, they would have been able to get 73 free cookies, which doesn't seem like enough. And next up, they posted their trademark concerns. Again, not going to go into it. I'm not a lawyer, but they claim to never use Cumbl Cookies trademarks on their videos. And they also posted about the food quality requirements, and they claim to have met the food quality requirements, keeping the cookies at room temperature in an airtight container for up to 3 days. How? Especially from LA. That's my concern. My concern isn't about the Hawaii ones. My concern is about the cookies that were bought in LA that were obviously a lot older and probably more stale than the ones that were bought in Hawaii. I just need to know how this heist was pulled off. It seems like a lot of planning would have had to go into this. So confused. So confused. And next was profit and costs. And this is the best thing. So they claim that this event was never about profit. Are you sure about that? And claim that they aim to bring the cookies to the Crumbl fans. We do not aim to make money, and some rough costs are below, okay? So they claim they spent $4,000 on flights and luggage. I mean, I feel like it would have been close to like $3,000 on luggage if it was all those cookies. Like that's crazy. $6,000 on the cookies and packaging, which is a lie because we already calculated the cost of the cookies and it was $5,479. And usually the packaging comes with the product you buy. You don't actually pay extra for the packaging. That's a lie. $2,000 in duties, taxes, and customs brokering, and over $1,000 in staffing. So they paid staff. So that's a business, but they don't have an ABN, an Australian business number. Additional costs for microwaves, tables, venue, and marketing. But you didn't pay anything for marketing because you stole all the marketing from the actual Crumbl Cookie, and I can definitely imagine you didn't pay them for it or ask for it in a legal way. And tell me right now, for the Crumbl Cookie pop-up in Sydney, you actually paid for the venue. Tell me right now that you didn't operate it out of your parents' business that sells trophy and does engraving. Tell me that right now, which would have been for free. So again, that's a lie. With all these expenses, we set the price without an intention of making a large profit. Let's calculate all the costs and profit real quick. 700 cookies sold for $17.50 each, $12,250. We take away the costs to buy the cookies, flights, and luggage. Take away how much they said they spent in duties, tax, and customs brokering, and let's say they spent $1,000 in staffing. They also say additional costs for microwave, table, venue, and marketing. If I take away the cost for everything they listed, it comes to a loss of $229. Which is a complete lie. And I took off $500 from what you claimed. So if you were actually claiming everything on this website, then you really would have lost $779, which I just cannot imagine is true. So you're lying. This whole situation is one of the strangest things I've ever seen. And now to clear up all the legal stuff, a creator by the name of The Life of Amy did a great job in talking about the whole situation. And I'm pretty sure she's either a lawyer or studying law, so she's gonna know way more about it than me. So we're gonna watch that together so we can get a better understanding of all of it, you know?
Crumbl, Sydney. scam that I can't believe they're getting away with. Crumbl Sydney claimed to have flown to LA and purchased 700 cookies from Crumbl in America and brought them back to Australia. If you know anything about Australian border control, or if you've flown into Australia, you would know they are so strict.
That's what I mean. It's so complicated and strange to me that they were actually able to get away with this, and so much planning has to go into that. I feel like, how were they able to pull that off?
Yes, you are allowed to bring in biscuits and cakes from overseas into Australia. However, they must be for personal consumption, meaning they cannot be sold. And any fillings or toppings must be cooked with the item. The cookies aren't put in the oven with the icing on them, so didn't do that.
And that's why I think that them saying that all 700 cookies were purchased and brought over to Australia, I just don't know if that's fully true, because they wouldn't have been able to do that. And then with the whole reheating and icing and stuff, with the heat of the icing falling off anyway, like it just doesn't seem likely at all.
So one of the cookies that was being sold was called Cumbl Cookie Peanut Butter featuring Snickers. Bestie. If nuts are packed in small pieces of confectionery, they must be in tin sealed under vacuum. But let's give you the benefit of the doubt and say you really did purchase these cookies from Crumbl in America. In the Crumbl Cookie terms and conditions, under section 10, prohibited uses, it states that you agree not to use the services to impersonate or attempt to impersonate Crumbl. This includes their branding, meaning those boxes that you purchased, not allowed.
All right, so even if they did say that they weren't impersonating Crumbl, they definitely attempted to impersonate Crumbl, 100%.
Also, their name Crumbl is literally trademarked, and that gives them the exclusive right to use their name, logo, or slogan for their service and their service only.
Well, then when they said they didn't go against any trademark stuff legally, I guess they were wrong. Look at me, I could be a lawyer. Trademark stuff.
Using their trademark name without permission, which I assume you did, could ultimately face you with legal consequences and legal action. I really hope you earned enough money to pay for those upcoming legal fees.
Well, I don't think we're actually going to know how much money they earned, because they clearly aren't being honest about the costs and profit of what was going on. Even when they were trying to clear everything up, they're just lying. So
moving on, the Australian Competitor and Consumer Commission states that making a false or misleading representation can result in a $2.5 million fine for an individual.
If the whole trophy business thing is right, and it is that, parents, then I hope business is booming. I hope business is booming right now for you.
Under the Australian consumer law, you must be able to ensure your goods and services are safe. How have you done that?
There's no way they were able to keep these cookies in a good enough condition all the way from America, stopping over into Australia, and with stops and setting up and different flights, and the flight delay that they actually posted about too. There's just no way, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone gets sick or is sick right now. How is this even a good idea?
And FYI, a sale made in an unenclosed trestle table or temporary stand may be more likely to an unsolicited consumer agreement. I'm not saying it was, but that is another 2.5 mil.
Boom! Another 2.5 mil right there just dropped. Boom! Just dropping 2.5 mils, baby, just like this. Boom!
And lastly, looking at your comments, discussing your further plans to sell in different locations.
That's what I forgot about too. Yeah, they've been plotting to do another one. There's no way it's gonna happen right now, but that was their plan, to do another one.
I must let you know, out of the kindness of my heart, that by Australian law, if you are consistently selling with the intention of making a profit, you are considered a business and need an ABN.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, I'm pretty sure I said that before. I'm not a lawyer or anything, but like, pretty sure you need an ABN.
Ultimately, they have been incredibly deceitful and manipulative, took advantage of people's desperation to try something viral. And I am genuinely sorry to the people who waited in line for hours and spent their hard-earned money on this shit.
Boom! Facts, Amy. Facts. Just for some context, I wanted to show you guys what they're actually supposed to look like. I must say they look pretty yummy and a lot different to what the cookies look like at the Sydney pop-up. I'm keen to see what happens from here. I'm sure we're gonna hear about whatever happens afterwards. I really hope so. A lot of what I said about the parents with the business and stuff, it's alleged, okay? That's my theory. It could not be true. That's just what I think. But yeah, this is just absolute chaos. The craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. A complete heist. And if this was pulled off genuinely by like someone under the age of 20 or like a 20-year-old, genuinely impressive. And like as bad of a thing it was that happened and as poorly as it was all pulled off, I think like Mark Zuckerberg is like looking for people right now for like Facebook and shit, dude. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Crazy situation, and I'm keen to see what happens from here. But yeah, in the meantime, I think I need to go try a Subway cookie because I've been thinking about cookies this whole time now, and I really want a Subway cookie. All right, bye guys. I'm gonna get a cookie now.